getting ready for Tamarack Race Weekend here in the nation's capital. It's not far off. Manny Rodriguez is the coordinator of the elite athletes who are coming. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Preparations going well?
Going great.
Yeah. Everybody's looking forward to it. Now we're just kind of waiting, right?
Exactly. Now it's a case of, for me anyway, for the elite athletes to get here.
The beauty of this, as we were just saying a few minutes ago, you know, is it's a race, it's a weekend that a lot of people get involved, runners from all corners of the planet, and a lot of average runners from here in the nation's capital across the country. But this is also a weekend for a lot of elite runners, and this weekend has gained notoriety as being one of the best events around the world, right?
It has. And if you look at our field, the people that we have coming, they're, winners from various, top marathons in the world. They're some of the best. Jeffrey Mutai, who won last year.
Yeah.
He won accolades for Best Road Runner of the Year last year, so we're getting the best.
Yeah. First of all, let's talk, there's two competitive races, right? Basically, the 10 and the marathon. The 10K is and the marathon. Let's talk about the 10K. I happened to be at the finish line last year. It's very exciting stuff when the first runners come across.
It's a great race. It's because you're actually watching almost three races. There's a women's race, a men's race, but we also have what we call the gender challenge, where we give the women a lead head start, and the first one across the line wins an additional $4,000.
Right. So that happened for the men last year, correct?
That's right.
But there might have been something behind that. You were just telling me the three of the top women's runners might have eaten something that didn't agree with them and slowed them down a bit.
Yeah, that is what happened from what they tell me, because they ended up running about a minute and a half slower than expected.
Right.
So it's supposed to be a very close race with the men, and the men ended up overtaking them almost a mile out.
So they get the bonus prize.
Exactly.
There's a lot, I don't want to get this down to money, Manny, but there's a lot of money up for grabs for these professionals.
There is. We have almost $200,000 in our prize purse between the two races, and that's what these people are doing. It is their living. They're
that's what they do.
Yeah.
Who should we watch for then in the 10K? Is there anyone in particular, any couple in particular on both the men's and women's side?
In the men's, it's going to be Jeffrey Mutai, returning champion. He didn't have a great London marathon just this past month, but hopefully he can recover and come back. He'd like to go for world record, so if he's fully recovered, then great.
Yeah.
For the women, there's Firawat Dadu. She's an Ethiopian who won New York City Marathon.
Yeah.
So it'll be very interesting to see how she does 10K.
What about the marathon itself then?
Marathon, very exciting field. We have a lot of depth. I'd be really hard pressed to pick a champion out of that. We have 6 guys who can who have broken the time, our previous course record time, and even the Canadian soil time before.
Yeah.
But you just never know what's going to happen.
There's a great possibility of records being broken this year. What are the factors that kind of allow that to happen? Because these times are so close all the time, right? So
they are.
Good weather's got to be one of them.
It's crucial, yeah. So the main things that they're looking for is good weather. You don't want it too warm, too hot, too windy. They're also looking for is very good pacing. So I actually hire a bunch of pacers to come in.
Do you really? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
I did not know that. I didn't know they were actually hired to do it.
Oh yeah, so we will pay them based on how far they go. We'll pay them because.
Really?
Oh yeah. To be able to pace a 2:06 marathoner, you have to run a 1.5 in 1:03, which very few Canadians can do. There's only a handful of Canadians can even do that.
Do you try to hire Canadian people to do this?
I try to hire some Canadian people, but that tends to be only for actually the women's.
Right.
Because what happens with the men's, if you're a 1:03 marathoner, you are one of the top Canadian marathoners, and you want to race it.
Yeah, what you'll see during all races basically are rabbits, what are called rabbits, and these are actual people, local runners in many cases for the average runner, who will wear rabbit ears, and they'll have a time. They'll carry a time, so they're setting the pace for their particular group.
That's right.
So that's similar to what these pacers are doing for the professional races, right?
They are, without the rabbit ears, naturally.
Yeah,
but
they don't want to wear the rabbit ears. No,
I don't know why.
I don't know why. But that's exactly what they do. Right?
Exactly.
And that's key. I was at another race. I was out in Manotick a couple of weeks ago, and a couple of people were asking me, what's with the rabbit ears? And what happens is you separate people into groups according to the times that they expect to run.
Yep.
And those rabbits will set that pace.
Yeah,
right?
it makes it a lot easier for you if you have someone there who can, who will hit the kilometer splits as needed, so you don't have to think about it, and you just kind of follow along.
Yeah. Whereas you might be checking your watch and worrying about how fast you're going and all that.
For the elites, it's a different level because they want to hit, for example, between 3 minutes and 3:02. It's a very close distinction, and to take that, that extra energy, you don't have to think about it, and to get the wind resistance kind of taken care of, it's helpful.
Yeah, exactly. Has it become a bit of a spectator sport here in the nation's capital on race weekend?
It has,
yeah.
And it's great to see, the city get behind the event, and
yeah.
the crowds as you line the streets, and going through Westboro.
It sure is fun to watch. At the finish line, I happen to, every year I get to hand out some awards and stuff and see the finish of races, and it's spectacular.
It is.
It's a lot of fun just to watch. If you're too old to run like me and broken and so on. Manny, I wish you the best of success, and I'm sure I'll see you around on Tamarack Race Weekend. Looking forward to it.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming by. All right, watch for those racers, all right? Lots of articles out there, of course, on these racers, too, that are coming to try and win some cash.